Hi, today is day 3 on solving equations, and what we're going to be doing today is solving equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. We're also going to be taking a look at equations that have no solutions and ones that are identity. We're also going to be taking a look at a couple of word problems and setting them up algebraically and solving them. So let's get to work. First of all, when we look at an equation and we see that we have variables on both sides of the equal sign, well, we need to get them both together on the same side. So we are going to use properties of equality to get the variables together on the same side. That is, we're going to add them or we're going to be subtracting them. In number 1, 5x minus 10 is equal to 3x minus 8. The first thing I want to do is I want to get the variables together on the same side. And when I look at the two variables, I have a 5x and I have a 3x. They are on different sides of the equal sign. So I want to look for the one which is the smallest one. That would be the 3x. And I want to move the smallest one. But in order to move it, I have to do the inverse operation. When I look at 3x, there is not a sign in front of it. So the sign is understood to be a plus sign. That's a plus 3x. So to undo it, I am going to subtract 3x from both sides. I get 2x minus 10. These x's cancel is equal to negative 8. Once I get the variables together on both sides, it gives me an equation that we had from our day 1 video. So now I need to work with getting the 2x by itself, the term with the variables. So I'm going to add the 10 to both sides. I get 2x is equal to negative 8 plus 10 is 2. Now I work with getting the x by itself, so I undo that multiplication, I divide by 2, and I get a solution of x is equal to 1. Remember, if you want to know if you have the right solution, plug that 1 in for all of the x's and show that both sides of the equal sign really do produce the same number. Let's take a look at example 2. Alright, I see that I have an x on this left-hand side and a 4x over on the right-hand side of the equal to sign. I need them on the exact same side. Now remember, if there's not a number in front of the variable, it's assumed to be a 1, but there is a negative in front of this x, so this is a negative 1x. Between negative 1x and 4x, negative 1x is the smallest, so that's the term I want to move. I do the inverse operation. Well, the inverse of minus 1x would be adding 1x. And I'm just going to put plus x. I don't need to put that 1 in front of the x. So these are going to cancel. I bring down that negative 4 because the negative is still there and so is that 4 equals 4x and x is 5x. And then I bring the minus 11 down. Now I have one of those equations again from day 1 video. I have to undo addition or subtraction first. And negative 4 plus 11 is 7. 7 is equal to 5x. And then divide both sides by 5. And I get 7/5 is equal to x. And that's okay to have a fraction. It's okay to leave your answer as a fraction. Sometimes people will write it as x equals as a mixed number, 1 and 2/5. Or sometimes people will write it as a decimal. All three numbers are the same number, just written in different forms. But the improper fraction is okay. Alright, let's take a look at the next problem that I have. Let's see, where is it at? Okay, here we go. Now we want to make sure we write these notes down here. Sometimes we have to do more steps. Well, we've already talked about distributing when you have parentheses. The pen doesn't want to write now. Oh, that's supposed to say distribute first when there are parentheses. Let's see if I can maybe get a different color. Maybe, I don't know here. So I want to distribute first when I have parentheses. I'll just do that. Alright, combine like terms. That means if they're either on the same side or on opposite sides of the equal sign. Get all variables on one side, and then isolate the variable using the inverse operations that you're adding, you're subtracting, you're multiplying, you're dividing. Let's take a look at number 3. The first thing I see in number 3 are these parentheses. So I know that right here I have to use the distributive property. And so I'm going to do 2 times x is 2x, 2 times negative 8 is negative 16, equals, and over here on this other side I have this 3x minus 2x. I'm just going to take care of those right now. So I have x plus 1. Now what I have, I see that I have this 2x and I have this x, and they are on opposite sides of the equal sign. This 1x right here is the smaller of the two, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides. That's going to give me x minus 16 is equal to 1. Now I'm going to add the 16 to try to get that x by itself. And I have a solution of x equals 17. Okay, let's take a look at the example 2 over here. I'm sorry, it's example 4. It's the second one on the page. I notice that at number 4, I have this negative sign in front of the parenthesis. That's the same thing as having a negative 1 in front of the parenthesis. And so I have to distribute to get rid of that negative 1. I need to take that negative 1 times each piece inside the parenthesis. So I have this 4 equals negative 1 times x is negative x. I don't need to write the 1. Negative 1 times negative 7 is a positive 7 plus 2x. Once I take care of the parentheses using the distributive property, I notice I have 2 terms here that have the same variable, and they're on the same side of the equal sign. So since they're on the same side of the equal sign, I just add them up. Negative x and 2x is x, and bring my plus 7 down. I don't need to do the inverse here because they're on the same side of the equal sign. Alright, now to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 7, and I get negative 3 is equal to x for my solution. What I'd like you to do right now is to write problems numbers 5 and 6 on your paper and try them on your own. Shut off the video and then start it again once you've completed these problems to check your answer. Okay, I've solved the 2 problems. Check your work. I'm going to stop this video right here, and I'll need you to go on to the video 3B to finish the lesson.